Hi, my name's Stefan. I'm from Munns Instant Lawn, and today I'm going to show you how to plan for and install a sprinkler system for your lawn. The first step of any watering system is the planning stage. Do this properly and everything else will work much easier. So start with a sheet of graph paper. Now if you don't have one, you can download one from our website. Draw your area on the paper where 1 centimetre equals 1 metre, as shown here. Next, mark the location of the tap or the water source that you plan to use for this irrigation project. You'll also need to measure the flow rate. Do this by getting a 9 litre household bucket and time how long it takes to fill it. Once you have this measurement, write the time down on the plan as well. It also helps to know whether there are any areas where you don't want to have overspray from the sprinklers, and also whether the area is sloping or whether it's flat. Okay, so once you've done this, you can either email it to us or bring it down into our store and we'll design you a custom-made irrigation plan for free. This will give you an easy to follow plan and all the parts you'll need to start installing your very own irrigation system in your yard. There are many different types of sprinklers that you could use on your watering system. We've got quite big sprinklers like these, which are a Rainbird 5000 series. They shoot about 10 metres. If you've got a kind of medium-sized job that you're doing, these ones here will go anywhere from about 5 to 8 metres. Today we're going to use this rotator type sprinkler, and we're going to do that because it's a coastal area. It's quite windy and we need a sprinkler that's going to be able to disperse water around this site without getting blown around too much. Today we're going to install these sprinklers into trenches that we've pre-dug around the perimeter of this site. You can see that these trenches are about 150 millimetres deep from where the top of the lawn's going to be. You'll notice on your plan that each sprinkler location has been marked. They'll all be a certain distance apart, so the first step is to go around and position each sprinkler in its correct location. Use a measuring tape because it's really important to get this accurate. You can see that we've got 10 sprinklers laid out around the outside of this job. It's unlikely that we're going to be able to run all 10 sprinklers at the same time, so we're going to split them into 2 areas, 5 on one zone, 5 on another. Now, working out how many sprinklers that you can run at a time will depend on how much pressure and how much flow you have. But don't worry about that too much because we'll help you through that when you get your plan designed. Now, to get the water to the sprinklers, we're going to use this 19mm poly pipe. Now, this is called the main line and it typically runs from the tap or the water source to each sprinkler. So let's start this job today by getting this main line and running it around the outside of the job. The way to connect a sprinkler to the main line is to use one of these poly fittings. These poly fittings have barbs on one end and a thread, so we can screw the sprinkler onto the poly fitting, and the poly fitting connects to the 19mm poly main line. So we're just going to trim off these excess ends, put the barb in the end of the pipe here and thread it in. Then to hold it in place, we're going to use these 19mm clips, which simply go around the outside of the pipe and ratchet on. Got to make sure you put a clamp on every single barb across the whole job. It stops the pipe from blowing off the fitting. Use a pair of multi-grips like these just to tighten it up. Now we want it to sit nice and level with the edge here, so we're going to, you see that's nice and flush. If it sits up too proud, you'll end up cutting it off with your lawnmower. Pack it with some soil just to hold it in place. So I'm going to grab a bit of soil out of the trench here, pack it into place, holds it nice and tight. If it won't stay in like this one, we can use some extra clamps here just to pin it in place, stop it from popping out. From here we do the same thing over again until all the rest of the sprinklers are connected to the line. Once you're happy with the position of the sprinklers, you'll need to fine tune them to make sure they're spraying in the right direction. This also helps reduce any overspray into areas where you don't want water, like paths or windows. It's also a good idea to turn the system on here and test for leaks to make sure each sprinkler is spraying properly before you fill the trenches in. It's also good practice to leave the last sprinkler off the line, so when you turn the system on for the first time, you flush it out and you get rid of any dirt that's kind of hanging on in those lines when you're installing the system. We've installed a Rainbird controller on this job today. It's a Wi-Fi controller. It's an ESP RZXE. It comes with an app from the App Store or from Google Play. Just allows you to control your watering system from your mobile phone. It's as easy as pressing run. You can ask her how long you want it to be on and off for. It's all controllable from your phone. Really, really good idea. Okay, so there you have it. We've installed a sprinkler system in this area here today. We've planned what we're going to do. We've had an irrigation plan design done for us, and then we've gone ahead and installed it. Installing a watering system is a really important thing to do for the health of your lawn. And the best thing is that you can do it as a DIY project, even if you haven't done it before. Now, if you find you do need some help, we're always here at Munns Instant Lawn to give you all the advice that you need.